I'm Hiroshi Matano from MIGA, part of the World Bank Group. I think that IDF has done a great job over the past 10 years. We've been able to bring the knowledge in the insurance industry into development. The overall theme we have at the World Bank Group now is how can you bring the private sector involvement to the betterment of our host countries, the countries that we serve. I think insurance is unfortunately a missing piece in the dialogue. It's still undervalued, to be frank. But that said, today's discussion at the summit really demonstrate the fact that insurance can play an increasingly an important role. When you think about the extreme weather events we have across the globe, there needs to be a solution to this. The huge pool that the insurance industry has in deploying capital to build infrastructure, build schools, hospitals, is there. But we need to figure out the right way that people can, the private sector can invest. So I think this dialogue that we started 10 years ago should continue, and I'm sure that the next 10 years will see a greater involvement. So when I look at the insurance business, there's two parts. One is the investment part, and the other is the underwriting part. And I think both have huge potential. So on the investment part, what I'm really excited is the IDF fund that we're creating. I think that will be a great vehicle to bring the financing into emerging markets, especially in Africa. So that's something that I'm really excited about. But equally, or probably more interesting for me is the underwriting part. And we've been doing business with a lot of reinsurance companies that belong to IDF, but there's so many unique products that sit in the industry, like parametric insurance, crop finance insurance. There's a lot of things that there are the need at the emerging markets where the industry can provide a solution. So how can you bridge those kind of unique products into development is really an interesting part. But last part is actually it's an intellectual curiosity, but the risk modeling that the industry has, it's really, it was an eye-opener for me. So I come from Japan. Earthquake is a big part of our kind of national story, but and insurance is playing a big part in avoiding, providing support when that happens. But the modeling underlines all these kind of how the insurance works. But if I can bring that, not only the earthquake sector, but in other elements like extreme weather, like climate change, I think the world will really benefit this. So the capability of creating a model itself is really amazing achievement by the industry, I guess. It's really to embed the insurance industry into development. And I think when we talk about the private sector, there's a lot of players in this. There's the global banks, there's the investment developers, asset managers, but the insurance part is so important. So through this dialogue at the IDF, if we could have a constructive way of understanding each other, the public side and the private side, and coming up with a solution, that's really the dream that I have. I think the past 10 years has demonstrated that there's good intention by both sides, but how we can build upon that is really the challenge that I look forward to. But I think it's really promising.